Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this lovely wrap top that you see right here. If this is something you're interested in, you definitely want to stick around. If you're new here, thank you for joining. Please do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos like this. To my subscribers, thank you so much. I love you guys. Alright, let's get started. So here is the fabric I'm going to be using for this wrap top. I'm going to put it on fold now and draw out a starting line from which all my measurements will be taken. I'm going to mark out my neck width of 3 inches and also mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2. We're going to be cutting out the back piece first. Next, I'm going to mark my shoulder slope of 1 inch, and then I'll be drawing a line from that point to the neck width with my long ruler. Now I'll be marking my armhole measurement from the shoulder slope, which is 8 inches, and on that point I'm going to rule a line which is going to be the bust line. Now on the line that I just drew out, I'll be marking the shoulder measurement again divided by 2 and connect it back to the top. This is just to have a straight line. Afterwards, I'll be marking my round bust measurement divided by 4 and I'll be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. The next thing to do is to get the armhole curve, and to do that I'm going to divide what I have from the shoulder slope to the chest line, and I'm going to mark the midpoint, and from that point I'm going to go inwards by 0.5 and proceed to draw the armhole curve. Next thing to do is to mark the length of my blouse, and I'll be using 19 inches for that, and I'll be adding 1 inch extra for allowance. After marking, I'm going to rule a line on the marked points. Now on that line, I'm going to be marking my round waist measurement divided by 4, and I'll be adding 1 inch allowance, and afterwards I'm going to connect it to the bust line. This is all for the back, and I'm going to cut out now. In the process, you're going to see me mark the neck depth of 1 inch, which I forgot to do earlier. So I'm going to mark that out, draw out the curve, and continue the cutting process. For the front, you can see that I have my fabric on fold and my back is placed right on it, and you can see that the side back is directed towards me and the center back is directed towards the part of the fabric that has a lot of space. So I'm going to trace this out, and then you get to see what next I do. You can see that I stopped directly on the neck width of the back. That's because I want both the front and the back to have the same neck width of 3 inches. So I'm going to use my ruler to make a curve, and I'll be stopping 2 inches above the hem. Alright, so just watch. And then for the space that I have from the center back to where my ruler stops, just as you can see, the width is about 7 inches, okay? And the reason why I'm stopping 2 inches above the hem is because on that point, that's where we're going to attach the rope that is going to be tied, okay? This is basically all for the front. I'm going to proceed to cut out now. Here is the front and back piece. I'm going to be lining this, so I'm going to go ahead to cut my lining in this exact manner. Here are the pieces, the lining and the main fabric. Now I'm going to keep this aside and bring out the back piece because I'll be starting with that. And what I'm going to do is place the lining on the fabric, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to stitch around the neck, okay, just the neck. And then for the front as well, I'm going to have the lining on the main fabric, right sides facing each other as well, and also stitch the neck, just the neck alone, and then I'll come back to show you what next to do. So here they are. I'm done stitching the neckline as I said for each piece. I'm going to proceed now to make notches. You can decide to top stitch this after you're done making notches, or you can just go ahead to give this a good press, but I'm going to top stitch after I make a notch and also give this a good press. So here it is, I've top stitched and I've given it a good press as I said earlier. Now I'm going to flip this to the wrong side, and the next thing to do is sew down the hem. So I'm going to use my pin to hold that down. And then for the front as well, you can see that I already have my rope all stitched and pressed with my iron. My rope is about 25 inches long and 1.5 inch wide. So you can decide to make yours longer, or you can make do with this measurement as well. So I'm going to place this rope on the 2 inches point that I told you when we were cutting was meant for the rope. So you can see where I placed it. That is where you're going to place yours as well. Okay, and I'm going to use my lining to turn it just the way you see me do, and also use my pin to hold down the hem. So when you take this to your machine, how you're going to stitch it is stitch the side which is holding the rope and also stitch the hem. So I'm going to go ahead to do that now and come back to show you the next step. So here it is. I'm done with the sewing and also I ironed as well, and this is what we have. Now the next thing to do is to join the shoulder. What I'm going to do is place the front piece on the back piece, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to pick the shoulder. Okay, by the time you hold both the front and the back, you'll be having 4 different pieces all together, 2 fabric, 2 lining, right? So what you're going to do now is hold it very well. Take one of the lining pieces, either the front lining or the back lining piece, flip it over to cover up the remaining 3 pieces, okay? And then you use your pin to hold it down just the way you see me do. If it's confusing verbally, you can just watch closely at what I'm doing, and I'm also going to repeat the same process on the other side so you can see again. Alright, and after you're done holding that with your pin, you're going to head over to the machine and stitch with 1/2 inch. After I was done stitching, I also pressed it down with my iron as well. Now the next thing we're going to do is also stitch the sides, and we're going to be stitching it in the same manner as we did the shoulders. So you're going to pick the front and back hem, hold them, arrange them well, make sure that they're meeting right. Also, you'll be having 4 pieces of fabric, right? Fabric lining, okay? So you use, this time around, you're not going to be using the lining to turn. It's impossible. So you're going to take either the front fabric or the back fabric, and you flip it over to cover up the remaining pieces just as you see me do, and then you proceed to arrange as well and keep on pinning till you get to the armhole point, which is the end. Okay, so now that I'm done holding it down with my pin, I'm going to head over to my machine and stitch down with the 1 inch sewing allowance that I kept. For the other side, it's going to be a bit different. So when I'm done with this side, I'll come back to show you how to proceed with the other side. So here it is. I'm done sewing and you can see that it's giving neat and professional. So for the other side, I'm going to hold it down with my pin just the same way we held the previous side. So when I'm done, I'm going to explain what needs to be done differently. As you can see, I'm done with the pinning process. Now from the hem, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch, and then from that point, I'm going to mark 2 inches upwards as well. So which means that by the time we're done stitching, we're going to be having an opening of 2 inches. Okay, so from the hem, you stitch and get to the 1/2 inch point, make a top stitch, move to the point where I marked the 2 inches, make a top stitch there as well, and then sew all the way to the end. Okay, this 2 inches, I'm doing that because my rope is 1.5 inch wide. If yours is 2 inches wide, make sure you leave an opening of 2.5 inches. So this is just what needed to be done differently on this other side. So I'm going to head over to my machine and stitch with the sewing allowance. As you can see, I'm done stitching and we have our opening here. So what I'm going to do now is flip this in and make a notch on the points that I top stitched so that it is more relaxed. Afterwards, I'm going to tuck in the lining and also tuck in the fabric. You'll be seeing the way I'm going to do that. It's going to be tucked in a single manner, not together. I'm not going to hold the fabric and lining together and tuck in. No, I'm going to tuck in the lining and also tuck in the fabric. Okay, and I'm going to hold it down with my pins just the way you'll be seeing me do it. Afterwards, I'm going to head over to my machine and I'm going to make a stitch on the edge of each point, and I'm going to form sort of a rectangle just to keep that place intact. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now as you can see, I'm done stitching that part. Now the next thing to do is to attach my sleeve, and for the sleeve making, the next video I'll be posting would have the entire process of how I achieved this, and it will be well detailed and very explanatory. So set your reminder, guys. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead to attach the sleeves now and you get to see the final results on me. So guys, this is the final result. It's such a cute and lovely top, to be very honest. Really beautiful. Anyways, this brings us to the end of this tutorial. If you found this video helpful, useful and interesting, do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and also turn on your notification bell as well. If you have any questions, please do leave it in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to give answers. Thank you so much guys for watching. Till next time, bye.